All right, welcome back to the Roast Yourself podcast, brought to you by Coffee Bean Corral and Current Crop Roasting Shop. I'm Stephen Burnett with Coffee Bean Corral in Jackson, Mississippi, and with me, as always, is Catherine Mansell, Certified Q Grader and Director of Current Crop Roasting Shop in New Orleans, Louisiana. Catherine, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. I've been working on some lecture series that I think
Ooh,
Current Crop is going to offer at the end of July and in August. So a summer lecture online series,
wow,
uh,
that's awesome.
coffee processing, intro to varietals, things like that. So I've been having a lot of fun
Yeah.
with it. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing well. We're studying more and more about AI because this week we have a question about AI and coffee roasting. And why do we do this? Well, because each week we set aside about 10 minutes to field questions from home coffee roasters and professionals alike about roasting, tasting, and most importantly, enjoying coffee. You can send your questions to questions@riypod.com. That's questions@riypod.com to get a nice shout out from us in the next episode, and of course to get your question answered. This week's question comes through Instagram. You can actually get us through Instagram, and this comes from a user Rylaski underscore La. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. Who asks, I just analyzed my green coffee with Chat GPT, and it gave me a score in less than 3 seconds. Question for the show. How can us coffee roasters leverage AI to improve quality and save time? Well, before we get into that, Catherine, how quickly can you give a score for coffee? Can you beat 3 seconds?
One evaluation, start to finish, I normally devote about 25 minutes to.
Oh, man, it seems like 3 seconds has got you beat. I don't know what you can bring to the table on that. My goodness. The user sent us a picture of that they just took an overhead shot of some of their coffee beans, and the Chat GPT wrote up a little thing saying score is 87 just based on visuals. And of course, the all the warning or all the caveats that the AI gave was like, hey, you have to actually taste this coffee to tell if it's any good. All that's very true, but Catherine, what do you think in terms of this? Like, do you see the coffee, Q grading community using AI in the near future, or are y'all just going to stick to the good old fashioned manual methodology?
I haven't heard of anybody suggesting that we use any form of AI in quality evaluations. I know we're moving over to the new coffee value assessment towards the end of the year, and none of that has any AI in it at all. What I found interesting was taking a picture of the green coffee and it letting you know which defects are there. That could be
Mm-hmm.
useful. That could be helpful. Uh,
Sure.
but but then after, you're still going to have to physically take out all of those defects anyway. So does it save time to have the picture and have Chat GPT tell you what the defects are,
Mm-hmm.
but it still doesn't save you any time from physically removing them and then roasting the coffee. And then he also sent another message about the AI program telling him how to roast coffee on his popcorn popper, and him prompting it as it goes to sort of get him to a nice City Plus roast. So he is finding it helpful in some
Yeah.
ways, but with the defects and looking at the green grading, there are different processing facilities already using high-end visual scanning machines to eliminate defects of coffee at scale. And
Right.
all of that equipment is not only uh, picking out the defects, but is physically removing them as well.
Right.
So by the time it gets to us, there should be a very small amount of defects, if any. Uh, of course, you're going to find some. Not most of the time. There's something in every coffee.
Sure.
So I'm not sure how much time it's going to save, uh, but being able to have a source there that's helping you achieve your goals seems helpful.
Yeah. And this is something else. I mean, how useful is a purely visual analysis of the coffee and a score? Is that a thing? I'm not familiar with that. Is there a category of scoring just by visual inspection? or does the score should any score you're going to see going to include we roasted the coffee, we cupped the coffee, we tasted the coffee?
The only thing visual that I look for is before I even roast the coffee and I green grade it. And I pull out and write down all the primary and secondary defects. On the current Q evaluation form, the only thing visually that's there is a vertical guide of how light or how dark the roast is. So it's just marking what roast level that you see. So nothing visually on the current form. The CBA may have a few different things added to it, but the one I'm currently using is just the roast level itself.
And I could see like uses of AI. I could see AI being really good because I know AI can be really good at analyzing photographs. As this is an example of here, I could see AI being really helpful in analyzing very nitty gritty, how roast level analysis of ground coffee and things like that. I could see anything with as good as your camera can be. If you've got the software, the AI that can analyze those photos, you could get pretty accurate on how dark is this coffee and that kind of thing. I could see that being useful. But a lot of these applications that would actually be helpful require equipment to go with them. And if you want to spend money on your quality and buy coffee moisture analysis equipment and coffee density analysis equipment and all of that kind of stuff, you can absolutely do that. But it costs money to do that. So I could definitely see AI being useful in, if you say, okay, these are here's the last 3 roasts I did with this coffee in the chart form, analyze the chart, and then I'm getting this result that I don't like, make suggestions on how I could do the next batch to avoid this issue or to increase that or whatever. And I could see AI being helpful in that regard, kind of on a back end. We're going to look at what we've done and we're going to make a plan for the future. But anything that you are in real time using AI to roast coffee is going to be, I don't know that the tech is there and available at this point. And especially with home roasters, the AI's got to have some data, right? And so, feedback, we all need that. If I'm roasting coffee in a popcorn popper, I got to be able to look at the coffee and smell the coffee and listen for first crack. And so if the AI if the AI is working off of a camera and microphone that can do those things reliably, that's all cool. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I like roasting coffee. I don't want to outsource the fun parts of life to robots. I want to do the fun parts myself and outsource the boring stuff that I don't want to do.
One big thing, though, you said if it could take a picture of the coffee and give you the specific roast level, then that saves you money, and you don't have to buy an Agtron scale that costs tens of thousands of dollars to tell you what the roast level is. So in that instance, it could be helpful.
Exactly. And I think that's very true. And that's something that could pretty easily be done because most of us carry, studio quality cameras around in our pocket all the time now.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see that application. And the other thing, I've just thinking about this, like at the end of the day, and I harp on this, but the coffee's got to taste good. And I don't know that AI will ever be able to tell you if the coffee tastes good. Yeah. And so there's more to it, I think, than just simply the data, the numbers, and all of that stuff. It is, do the people that you're giving the coffee to, do they enjoy it? Are you enjoying it? If the numbers all look great and the AI says this is A+ coffee and you don't enjoy it, who cares what the AI says, right? And so I don't know. I think there's a lot of helpful tools. I think the roast level application is probably right around the corner, if not already here. But yeah, the rest of it in terms of green, just visually green grading, there's more to it than that. Finding defects. I mean, if you could take the time to lay out and photograph like all the coffee you're going to roast, by the time you did all that, you could have just picked through it and found whatever defects, tossed them, and roasted the coffee. So I wonder about the time saving application of that.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a lot. AI is weird, and we're all very confused by it. I think people that act like they know what they're talking about don't. I feel like every day I hear about some guy who's like really deep in the AI stuff, and he's a programmer, he knows all these things, and he's convinced it's alive. I'm like, dude, you don't know what you're like. How are you this close to this thing and you still don't know how it works? Come on, man. It just happens, right? And so I think we're all kind of playing catch up with this tech, and it's probably way ahead of where we think it is, and yet not capable of doing things that we think it should obviously be able to do. So, but that's just my 2 cents, speaking as a non-expert in the world of AI. Well, Rolaski La, I hope this helps. Thank you for sending a question via Instagram. You guys should all get on our Instagram page and friend us and send questions through that as well. You can attach pictures, which is super cool, and other people can see them when you do that. So please, please hop on there. In fact, I've got a link in the show notes for you to find our Instagram page for the Roast It Yourself podcast. Catherine, in terms of AI, have we given the last word on AI?
Not at all.
Not even close. And so you people that know more about this than us, which is probably all of you, please hop in the comments and tell us what you think. Have you found a use for AI that we didn't think of or we didn't mention in your coffee roasting, in your coffee quality grading, whatever you're doing? Have you found an application for AI? Especially somebody with like just Chat GPT or whatever app and the phone can do. That would be really helpful. Throw that in the comments and let us know. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it. And if you did, please leave us a rating and review on whatever platform you found us on, because we're excited to watch the Roast It Yourself podcast continue to grow and to spread around and to catch more people up into this awesome hobby of coffee roasting. So we hope that you help us share that around. We could not do this without the folks that handle our audio and video and graphic work for the podcast. This one was a little bit choppy. We kept having audio issues. So if this seemed coherent to you, thank our audio and video people that made it so. They work with us, they wear a bunch of hats, and they just help us to knock this stuff out and make it look good. So thank you guys very much. Remember to send any questions you have about coffee in general and coffee roasting in particular to questions@riypod.com. Otherwise, have a great day and happy roasting.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, thanks.